Hello and welcome to the Infertility podcast. My name's Daniel.
And I'm Candace. Grab a biscuit because we've got the tea on all things infertility. If you'd like to stay up to date, you can follow me on Instagram at Operation Baby Bump. If you'd like to get connected, you can visit www.theinfertility.com. Welcome to episode 5.
Hello.
Daniel is under the weather.
It's man flu.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Sound like you have a frog in your throat.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
Okay, well, you don't have to talk much.
Okay.
If you don't want to.
Okay.
That's my impression of Daniel right now.
Terrible. It was a bad impression.
I thought it was pretty good.
You were wrong.
Daniel and I deserve an award.
We do?
Yeah. Tonight is the 10th night in a row
Oh, yeah.
that we've eaten dinner at home. That's
incredible
huge for us.
us.
I know.
Like, I don't think in the 9 years of us being together that has ever happened.
Not even when I was really good at cooking dinner a lot of the time. We still had those lazy nights where we would just get fast food or get a pizza or something like that.
At one point, we used to get vegetable tacos from Taco Casa. Do you remember that? It would just be cheese and lettuce, and they were like $1 each, but
Yeah.
pretty good actually, aren't they?
Yeah. Love the Casa. They have great sweet tea. But we've just been trying to save a bit of money for the upcoming trip out of town for my surgery, and we have had, like tonight we had tomato soup.
It was really delicious.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I made tacos one night, and then 2 nights later I kind of recycled the leftover beans and stuff and made nachos, and so I'm just trying to make lazy meals. I should do a lazy picky lady cookbook or something.
Yeah.
Or just buy one.
Yeah, over the 10 days, we've not had one bad meal. Everything's been a success.
Yeah, pretty good.
You know, and it hasn't seemed to have taken you too much time to do each.
Yeah, that's true. It hasn't. I just need to find more recipes that are for lazy people. When I get home from work, the last thing I want to do is stand up in the kitchen preparing a meal or, and cooking. And then it's not just about cooking dinner. It takes you 5 minutes to eat, and then you are on your feet for another however long cleaning up. So
it's definitely not the sort of investment that you expect a lot of gains on,
Right.
We slow cooked some beef, and that took 7 hours, and then you eat it in 5 minutes, and you're just like, well.
And the slow cooker meals are awesome, but then you have to clean your slow cooker.
Yeah.
You have to take the insert out. You have to wash it by hand.
Yeah.
It's just
inconvenient.
I need a chef.
Yeah.
I should have won the lottery.
Yes.
I wish I would have won. Some of my Instagram friends and we all went in $10 each, 11 of us, including me. And I bought 45 lottery tickets with the money.
How much did you win?
$2.
Wow. Good investment.
Yeah. It was really sweet. All the girls said, "You know what? You keep my 18.18 cents." I was willing to give my share and let everybody else have 20 cents.
Yeah.
But they, I guess, felt really bad for me because...
I mean, to be fair, you're the person who did the legwork for it.
Yeah, that's true. But I had so much fun. I really did. I got off early that day and I drove around to 4 different gas stations.
So it cost you more in gas than what we
Not
actually
really.
won.
I have a Prius, so
but
it's not that bad. But it kind of gave me something to live for the day. All of a sudden, I had this boost of energy and excitement. So it was pretty fun. I think we'll do it again. I think it was fun. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
Someone who lives in Goose Creek, which is 30 minutes away from us, won $20,000.
20 G's.
Yeah.
I would put some huge spinners on my Prius.
No, you wouldn't. You'd put some huge money in the bank and pay
Yes.
off our loans, is what you would do.
That's absolutely true.
Isn't it sad that if we won $20,000, it would just, like, we've already spent that. Like, we've already spent it.
Yeah, dude, I got to pay off my bills at the strip club.
Yeah.
I wish my
How
voice
much is
didn't
your
sound
tab?
like this. Man, I mean, just a Goldie. I owe her like 9 grand.
Who?
Goldie.
Goldie Hawn?
Oh, I don't think so. Goldie.
Ugh.
Yeah, that sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
That's awful.
I don't think you can have tabs at strip clubs. Do you know what I mean?
You'd
Like,
know.
Why would I know? I've never been to one.
Yeah. What if we would have won the $96 million jackpot? What would you do if we would have won the $96 million?
Man, that's easy. Selfless. I would straight away go and like give money to people who needed it. Like,
Yeah,
I'd go
is
into
so
Walmart
cool.
and people who looked like they were down on their luck, I'd just slip them a G.
That
Right.
would be really cool.
Yeah, I would go to like a rundown, rinky-dink, like diner, and I'd listen to their stories, you know, because it's all
Yeah,
stories.
sit in the booth behind him.
And I'd be like, so I hear you're having trouble with your, buying your school books. Here's this little bit of cash. And
Here's
then
$5,000.
Yeah,
Buy
yeah.
some books with that.
buy some books and get yourself something nice.
Yeah.
And then selfishly, I'd go to a Ferrari dealership instantly. And I'd buy a Ferrari off the lot with cash.
Yeah.
And I'd just do donuts.
I would go drive down to Isle of Palm and pull up to my dream house on the beach.
Which you can't find
Which I
anymore.
can't find. It's so ridiculous.
It's your dream house,
It
but
is.
you can't find it.
There's this gorgeous house on Isle of Palms, which is about 5 minutes from where we live. It kind of looks like the Amityville what is it called?
Cape Cod sort of style.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And there's 2 parts of it. So it looks like the Amityville house times 2
Yeah.
and then connected, so it's
Yeah.
really symmetrical. And it's the most beautiful shade of like peacock green.
Is that really a colour?
Well, I don't know how to describe the color,
Can you
but
just say dark or light green?
it's like a dark
There we go.
bluish green, but it's more green
Turquoise.
than blue. It's not turquoise.
Boys.
Wise.
Turquoise.
Oh, and all this and all
name's
that.
Candace, and it's turquoise.
No. That was horrible. Anyways, I would find it, and then I'd roll into the driveway, I'd knock on the door, and I'd say, "Excuse me, how much for your house?" And they'd be like, "Oh, it's not for sale." Because they're British.
No,
in my
they're not. They're probably not. No, we're in America.
Right, but I can imagine only someone who lives in Britain and sold their house. No, that's not true.
No, you're high.
Okay, maybe they're not British.
They're
But he'd go, "Darling, this house ain't for sale."
Is he Foghorn Leghorn?
No, that was my Charleston accent.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, so he'd say that, and I'd be like, "Is it for sale now?" And I'd pull out a briefcase.
Of $1 bills.
No, of hundreds, and it would be like 7 million.
And he'd be like, darling,
So it'd be
I'll
like
take that money.
So it'd be a couple mil over what he paid for
Yeah,
it.
nice.
And he'd say, "Darling, are you crazy?" And I'd say, "No."
Yes.
And then here would come 12 U-Hauls just ready to move them out. And I'd be like, "Be out in a week."
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
Where am I while this is going on?
You're there
What am I
for
doing?
backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the heavies,
Yeah, you're standing guard just in case things take a turn for the worse.
which inevitably they will. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I would recommend is, yes, let's buy the house. It's gorgeous once we
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
But
Gotta locate
yeah,
it
we've got to
first.
locate it. But let's just, do it the proper way. Like a little offer. Hey, how do you fancy moving?
Ooh, you know what I could do? Just because I'm rich and it would be funny, I could write the offer on some kind of tacky little ripped piece of paper.
Like a receipt.
Yeah, like the back of a receipt or something.
You could use a
CVS
Walmart
receipt, yeah.
because CVS you get like 11 feet, don't you? Whenever you go in there, they give you basically a roll of toilet tissue.
Exactly. You could turn it sideways, and then all the zeros would fit on it.
Yeah.
So I would write it on the back of that, and then I'd fold it up really tightly, and I'd slowly
put it in his top pocket.
Yeah, slowly reach over and hand it to him.
Yeah, nice. All right, cool. Well, now we know what we do with the money.
Yeah. And we would start an infertility foundation, I think.
Absolutely. We would
There's
call
not
it
enough of them.
Daniel's dream.
I actually went on to look at what infertility grants there are right now because...
Who's Grant? Do I know him?
I went online to look at all these different grants. Sometimes they'll have different grants going on at different times, so they'll open an application for, however long of a period you have to apply, and then you either get it or don't. Well, every single one I found has an application fee of $50.
So it's like the lottery again.
Well,
they're going to take all that money.
I can appreciate that.
There's administrative
someone they have to meet.
Yeah,
someone has to review the application, so you have to pay someone to do that. But I just think it's crazy because if I'm applying for a grant, that means I'm broke. I ain't got no $50. So I didn't apply for the grants because I'm not going to pay $50 per application. What if there's 2 or 3 grants? I'm not going to pay $150 just to maybe get some money.
You got to spend money to make money. Is that even true?
Fam.
No, fam.
So what I wanted to talk about today, this is going to be a 2-part episode. So episode 5 and episode 6 will be about relationships. And we all know, having gone through infertility, that it can change a lot of aspects of your life.
Yeah, 100%.
One of those areas is relationships. And these are relationships that, with your friends, family, your spouse, your coworkers, your boss, the president.
No, we don't know the president.
No, I was just saying if you're listening. The first relationship I want to talk about is relationships with friends and how that changes. There are 2 types of friendships when you're going through infertility. There are friendships that already have roots. So they're existing friendships that you've had for years.
Yeah.
So you start going through infertility and things start changing and it's weird. The other type is the friends you make after.
Yeah.
So those are going to look probably completely different.
So you could call it BIVF and AIVF, before IVF and after IVF.
Yeah, like a timeline.
Yeah.
And it's unique because the people that you meet afterwards are going to know you in a different way. So when you first start trying to conceive, a lot of people become surprised when their existing friendships start changing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised when people would kind of dismiss themselves from my life because I was going through a hard time. I thought that was strange.
Yeah, much easier for me because I don't have any friends, so it's very easy for me.
Well, you have acquaintances here. Most of your friends' are back home in England, and I think you kind of like it that way, don't you?
I do. I think they're good people, but I'm just better on my own. I'm a lone wolf.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm totally a lone wolf. Talking of spirit animals, which animal would you say would best represent you at the present time?
A sloth, for sure. That is 100% my spirit animal.
I
don't mean to be basic and trendy.
You are.
But sloth is 100% my spirit animal. That's just who I identify with the most.
100% sloth.
Yeah.
Although you move quicker than a sloth.
I do when I need to.
Yeah, no, you're quite rapid and scrappy. So
yeah, I am.
I'd be I like giraffes. I like their way of doing things.
What is their way of doing things?
Just they do it at their speed.
Yeah.
Like giraffe speed. And I appreciate the fact that their length of their necks, like they can get anything they want.
Yeah.
Good luck driving in a sports car, though, giraffe.
Under a bridge.
Under a bridge. By head.
Oh. Let's go back to the friend thing.
Yeah, let's.
I talked about this briefly in episode 3 about how I had a friend who was trying the same time as I was, and, well, for a shorter period of time.
For like a month.
And when she got pregnant, she thought it was too uncomfortable to be my friend. And this happens to so many people. I see friends on Instagram posting and saying, "Has this ever happened to you?" And to me, it's old news.
Yeah.
This has happened to me and so many other people that I know. But I remember how shocked you are when you first start trying.
Yeah.
And your friends just kind of abandon you.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But really, it has 2 parts to it. Maybe this person really feels awkward that they have something that I've been desiring. Maybe she thought I was going to steal her baby or something. I don't know.
I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah.
In addition, if I don't want to do something or see someone in the future, I'm just going to say they make me uncomfortable. Like for everything. Hey, Daniel, have you got that report that's due in 3 days? You know what? This is making me uncomfortable.
Right, and just leave.
I am not doing this.
Yeah. Or the second part is maybe my behavior influenced her decision to bail out on me. Maybe I said something that made her feel like I couldn't handle being friends with a pregnant person. Maybe she thought I was just too weak or sad and pathetic. I don't know.
I think you're onto something, but I don't think you're heading down the right path. I can see someone saying, I don't want to be your friend because of previous things you've said, like, oh, people who get pregnant, you know, it's difficult to see. I don't think it has anything to do with you being weak or anything like that. It's everything to do with the fact, well, I know exactly how she feels about my situation. It's just not going to be conducive to a healthy relationship. So I think that's more likely the situation.
Yeah, I think so. But I also...
But you are weak. You have no upper body strength. I could take you out in a minute.
I'll reach across this table right now and show you how weak I really
short
am.
arms. No, seriously, don't.
We're going to have to take an intermission.
Ow, stop hitting me.
That was my intermission music.
It was terrible.
I won't quit my day job, don't worry. But listen, ultimately, a true friend would not leave you. Someone very close to me who also struggled to get pregnant and actually went through some really serious health issues in the pursuit of getting pregnant recently told me that she was pregnant. And this was really surprising to me and surprising to her too, because they weren't really expecting this to happen after being told that it probably wouldn't happen and it not happening. And she called me and she said, I never want to hurt you, so I'll let you decide how involved you want to be in my life and in my pregnancy. If you want updates, I'll give you updates. But if it's going to hurt you, I don't want you to feel that kind of hurt. And it was gentle, it was protective, and she wanted me to feel safe. And obviously she's able to offer me this because she knows how it feels to maintain a relationship where everyone around you is having babies and you're not.
Yeah.
So that's a unique sort of friendship because she knows how it feels. For women who haven't had that struggle, it's difficult for them to fully grasp the sensitivity required in these situations.
Yeah.
I have had some friends do a pretty good job though. In the past, you know, it's been many years of infertility and loss, and I've had many friends have babies. I've had many friends have 1 and then 2 and then 3.
I would say all of your friends.
Yeah, pretty much all of my friends.
I actually can only think of one of your friends doesn't have a child, and that's it. And I think that's through choice.
Yeah, I can think of a few who don't, but ultimately my point with this is that a true friend would never dismiss themselves from your life. Never. And if you're listening to this and you've experienced this, let them go. because honestly, if they're going to leave you during this critical time in your life when having a support system is so important,
Yeah.
then they're not going to be there for you through other hard times.
Yeah.
Who knows what life has in store? So if it's not a solid friendship, then
In the words of Frozen,
let him go.
Let it go.
Let him go.
Frickin' let it go.
Oh, I hate Frozen
Oh
so
gosh, me
much.
too.
But
Making a second one. Sorry, I know.
let's
I
not
digress.
even waste any more time on that. But I know how it feels. You know, I've been left behind over the years, and it feels lonely. Everyone's progressing and they're having their kids, moving into the parent phase of life, and it's diapers and soccer games and ballet, and you're standing there just watching it all happen and wondering when and if it'll ever happen for you.
Yeah.
So
Hitting the clubs every weekend.
yeah. I mean, it is a very isolating time.
Yeah, 100%.
So to have a friend leave you in your darkest hour, so to speak, is unacceptable. And I just would encourage people, if that happens to you, let them walk, because
there'll be more valuable people who are willing to hang around.
Yes. And there will be people who actually really care.
Yeah.
And will provide a more quality friendship to you. I know for me, I am so thankful for the connections I've made through the TTC community on Instagram. I don't know what I would be doing.
Oh, you'd be a basket case.
The type of support that I've received over the past couple years since I made my account has been mind-blowing, honestly. People will ask for my address. They'll send me gifts. Like,
someone sent me Cadbury's chocolate.
Right. They send
from
Daniel
England.
Gifts. They've sent our dogs
Can
gifts.
we say their name? Can I shout that person out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rosie. Big up yourself, Rosie. Thank you.
What does that mean?
This means, like, on the streets of London, it means thank you. Big up yourself, blood.
Okay. Shout out Rosie. And it's not about the gifts. It's about the thoughtfulness that goes into it. The fact that someone thought of me that way. And
yeah.
I don't deserve that at all. But it's overwhelming, the friendships that you establish with all these other women who really, truly know what you're going through.
And sorry, you said TTC.
Trying to conceive.
Yeah, so can you give some more details for those people that don't necessarily have or haven't connected? Give us some more details.
I think if you've just started trying to conceive and you don't already have an Instagram account dedicated to that, do yourself a huge favor and make one. This is great on multiple levels. So I started mine because I wanted to document our journey, because our families actually didn't know that we were going through IVF at the time, which I'll get to in a minute. I started following a bunch of really inspirational people that had YouTube channels that I had seen, and one thing kind of led to another, and I started seeing all these hashtags about TTC and IVF, and that led me to following more people. Then people started following me, and I quickly realized, wow, this is bigger than I could have imagined. This is actually a community of people and a community of support. So if you haven't made an Instagram account, I really encourage you to make one. You know, you're going to want to look back and see all of the things that you've gone through and document it all anyways.
Yeah.
And then it's a great way to get connected. Also, the website that I created, theinfertility.com, this is really dedicated to the Instagram community. So it's a place for asking questions, getting answers, connecting with others. And I see those connections being made already. And it makes me so happy to see people meeting each other that way.
I think in addition, probably the greatest thing to come from this is the knowledge of, meeting with our new doctor who has given us answers that our previous doctors couldn't. So
yes,
I think the benefit of the TTC community is an unparalleled amount of knowledge between people that have been through this and are going through it. So yeah, I encourage you, as a husband who sat on the outside and watched his wife go through this and meet these people and have the ability to find hope in the strangest places, it is by far the most effective thing we've seen. since starting this journey.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how people do it alone. Years and years ago, when Instagram wasn't even a thing, when social media and connecting with other people across the world wasn't even really a thing, I don't know how people went through this.
No.
And there was less of them back then. So how isolating must that really have been?
Yeah.
I agree with you because we wouldn't have known about Dr. Braverman. Nobody would have told us that. Our clinic wouldn't have told us that.
We would never have known what a reproductive immunologist is.
Yeah.
Or even if they existed. So
I remember my friend messaging me about him probably 2 failed transfers ago.
can you shout her out?
Hey, Heather, what's going on?
Big up yourself, Heather.
Big up yourself, Heather.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, a doctor in New York. Oh, we couldn't possibly work with a doctor in New York. And I kind of just thought, oh, I can't send my embryos to New York and I can't afford that. And all these kind of self-doubting things came up in my head. And then we lost another one. And then another one. And I was just like, no more. I'm not doing this again. All that to say, we wouldn't have known about him.
No.
And I'm so thankful that we ended up going that route.
Yeah.
Another set of relationships that change. This is a tricky one, is family.
How do these change? I'm interested to know what you mean by change, and then who.
You wouldn't think that the relationship with your family would change because of infertility. But the thing about it is people continue to live their lives. It's different because ultimately sharing details about your struggles really comes down to your existing relationship with your family. So your decision to tell your family or not is going to look similar to you divulging other intimate details about your life to them.
Yeah.
I know that whoever you tell is going to have a lot of questions. So if you're happy with answering a lot of questions, then go ahead and tell your family all the details.
Yeah.
Tell them everything that's going on. If you're not comfortable with that and you're a little more private, like you and I used to be, here we are talking on a podcast. It's not very private, but I think we've really evolved. We used to be very private people. As I said before, in the beginning, our families didn't know about our IVF. They knew that when we first started trying years and years and years ago, we were really excited. So we were talking about it and just mentioning it in casual conversation that, oh, when we have kids. And it was very much a part of the conversation because we were green. We hadn't been devastated
Novices.
yet. Yeah.
Rookies.
We were rookies and the
amateurs.
Yeah, amateurs big time.
Any other synonyms we can use there? Noobs.
Noobs.
That's what the kids say.
Just a little side note. When my mom was in high school, she had really big boobs. Her last name was Newbie, and they called her Noobs with the boobs.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. And it was devastating for her because she was a tomboy. But anyways, back to the podcast.
Oh, on God's green earth.
Yeah.
That's my mum you're talking about.
I know.
How dare you keep her name out your mouth. Man.
So I think once we started experiencing disappointment, we started being more and more selective about what we shared. And we stopped sharing at a certain point because it just became silly. I felt silly. I can't speak for you, but
No,
for
absolutely.
me, I had talked all this stuff about, having babies and this and that. And,
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to be a mum and
Put it down, little kid.
And then here I was just not having any of the babies that I was talking about. And I did feel pretty stupid. So they didn't know about our IUI that we did. They didn't know about my second miscarriage. They did know about our ectopic pregnancy because we actually told them we were pregnant and then we had to take it back 2 days later.
Yeah, not really.
That sucked.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to tell them about IVF because we kind of wanted it to be like a surprise. We just
wanted normality, didn't we? We wanted, no one else has to tell their parents or their family when they're trying to conceive.
Right. It just happens and you get to
and then 3 months in you get to tell them.
You get to tell them at their birthday with
Yeah.
like a little onesie in the box and say,
So,
oh, you're gonna be
okay, so
grandparents.
I know you wanted something cute. Open the box first, Grandma. Oh my God,
Yeah, and it's all caught on tape, and then it goes on.
You're pregnant?
Yeah, it goes on Facebook, and
We'll never get that.
never. We told my family. I wrapped up all the pregnancy tests. There was 5 of them, and I gave it to my sister, and acted like it was a birthday present that I forgot to give her. Her birthday was a couple months before that, and I was like, "Oh man, I completely forgot to give you this. It was in the back of my closet and blah blah blah." And then she opened it, and it was all these positive pregnancy tests, and we had my parents over for dinner. We'll never get that again. We'll never get the pregnancy reveal again because it's been taken from us in the worst way. So we were just hoping that by doing IVF, we just thought it was going to happen for us really quickly because IVF works for everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So we did tell a couple people close to us. I told someone very close to me. You told someone very close to you, and we needed
Yeah.
support still. We kind of needed that, hey, guess what happened, to share those moments with. But
You also need a sounding board because
yeah.
when you're both going through the same thing, the last person you want to talk to is the person that you're going through with it. You want an additional person that isn't going through it and isn't feeling these things and can, make jokes and just support in the way that you need. I think it's so difficult for us because we live miles away from our families, 4,000 from mine, 2,000 from yours. So really the only time we get support is over the phone.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't until we did our first round of IVF and we ended up losing our last embryo and made the decision to pursue more IVF that we decided to share it with our families. We just felt that all of the skirting around the truth and the excuses about why we couldn't come home to visit were getting a little bit more difficult as time went on. It was getting harder to lie and
the financial pressure grows and
yes.
then, those people who have good jobs and should have a high amount of disposable income,
right.
The excuse can never be you don't have any money, right?
And they wouldn't have understood that because we get what we want. I mean, we're adults, we have good jobs, and if I want a new Dyson cordless vacuum, I just buy it. It's if we want to go somewhere, we just go, and that's been a luxury for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it stopped being a luxury because all of our money was tied up in fertility treatments, and the more the fertility treatments failed, the more money you obviously need. So we knew we were nowhere near being done with all of this mess.
True.
What did Mum say to you when you first told her? Your mum?
She said, "Are you sure? If you have this child, you'll be stuck with her." I was like, "Mum, we've been together for years." And she was like, "Just come and get yourself a nice, handsome British girl."
Whatever. She wouldn't say that. She adores me.
She said, I knew something was up. And she based that off of the fact whenever we were in England and you were around other people's children, you were, so obsessive over them. You wanted to hold them, you wanted to play with them. So she knew that our excuse of, I don't know if we're going to have kids, was phony. Baloney.
Yeah, and years ago when we first started trying, my mother-in-law bought me a diaper bag from Cath Kidston, which is my favorite place in England.
It's a nice diaper bag.
Yeah, it's lovely, and it's been
collecting cobwebs.
sadly folded up in a bin with some other baby stuff from days of yore. And unused. So I wonder if it'll ever be used, but she was so excited when we talked about trying a long time ago, and she was really supportive when we said we didn't want to have kids because that was an excuse for a long time. She said, "Oh, I think that's sensible."
Yeah.
That was my impression of her. But
it was really bad.
She would never say anything that was, against what we wanted. And for us to say that we didn't want kids, she was just being supportive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, she probably knew in her heart that that wasn't true, because she knows me well enough to know that I've always wanted to be a mother.
Yeah.
Like, she's known that, I think. So I told my mom. This is okay. So my mom and I, we have a great relationship, but we've never been like
Best friends,
holding hands. It's always really been mother-daughter type of relationship, which
is good. It's healthy.
Which is good. So I felt a little bit awkward telling my mom, because part of me felt like a failure a little bit, that we needed to do this in order for me to have kids. My mom had 3 kids. In fact, my mom had my sister when she was 37, and that was like, oops, surprise.
Yeah.
She had me and my brother when she was young, and then she had my sister Kennedy when she was 37, and all natural.
Yeah.
When I told my mom, she was visiting for my graduation. I graduated last May from college.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. I don't know what to say. But we went out to dinner, and her and I went to the bathroom, and I had just, my stomach was in knots. I just was like, I don't know what to say to her. I don't know how to tell her. And we were walking back to the table, and I just blurted out, hey, me and Daniel are doing IVF.
Jeez.
And she looked at me. She was like smiling, and she's like, what's that?
Yeah, I mean.
And I was like, IVF, in vitro. And she said, oh, okay. Just like, what was she gonna say? Like, who says that when you're walking back to the dinner
was
table
terrible timing.
from the bathroom? And then we just had to sit there and like eat dinner the rest of the time. What a weirdo.
Yeah, no, your timing for things is atrocious.
I know, but I felt awkward. I kind
You
of
should
needed...
have just done it over the phone.
No, because like, I think I did it in a way on the way back to the table so we didn't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I do too.
So I was just like,
poor woman
hey.
was probably sitting there going, IVF, in vitro?
Yeah.
Is there something like wrong with her? Is she losing a limb?
We ended up going into more detail about it, and she was very supportive and said that she was sorry, and she was proud of me that I was brave enough to do that, because as a kid I was a freaking weenie. I was just a big weenie. Anything. I had low pain tolerance. The fact that I was giving myself shots and going through egg retrievals and all of this, she just was so impressed.
Yeah.
So it was good that I told her. I told my dad. He was actually also in town for my graduation, and we were sitting by the pool, and I told him. And he always had suspected something was wrong, because again, he knew. He's known me my whole life, and
well, no, I would hope so.
Yeah.
He's your dad.
Yeah. When my sister was born, I was 15, and I was obsessed with her.
That's because you're her real mum.
Shut up.
She looks too much like you.
I was obsessed with her, and I would take her. I can't believe my parents let me drive around town with her.
I can't either. You're a terrible driver.
I'm not a terrible driver. Don't listen to him. But my parents would let me take her all around. Probably because I was a built-in babysitter. But
yeah, absolutely.
I was obsessed with her. When she would cry in the middle of the night, I would get up with her, and I'd go in there before my mom could. And I would like pick her up and soothe her back to sleep. And my mom would just kind of poke her head in and be like, okay, later.
Sleeping.
Okay, bye. And then pretty soon my mom would just stop getting up because she knew I would go down the hall. And
dude,
I was obsessed. And I always wanted to be a mom from the time I was a little girl. But when my sister was born, I was obsessed. And I couldn't wait to be a mother. So my parents knew something was going on. And they know that I'm a private person and that we would talk about it when we were ready. And now we can't stop talking about it.
God save me.
So ultimately, if you haven't yet told your family, or you're thinking of starting IVF, or you're thinking about going through fertility treatments or you're going through a rough time, your decision to divulge things to your family really should mirror your existing relationship with them. Just because if you don't really have a close relationship with your family, it might be awkward to talk about it.
Yeah.
Another strategy is if you do decide to tell your family, be clear about your needs.
Yeah.
For me, I told my family, look, I update my Instagram, follow me on there, because I'm not going to go to every single appointment and then start calling everybody in my family.
No.
There's too many of them. It's stressful. And I said, just follow along on Instagram. And that's worked for me. So if you want to limit their involvement in things, you could just say, look, I'll keep you posted. Or please respect my privacy. I'll let you know when there's something to talk about. I need your support, but not your advice. Or if you need their support, say that. I need your support. I need you to call me. I need you to come over. I need you to make sure I'm okay. There's a lot of people that they need the hugs. They need the coddling. They need someone to come over with a bottle of wine and dish and all of that kind of stuff. So be in tune with your needs and make sure your family knows that and can respect that.
Yeah. Next week on the Infertility podcast.
Part 2, relationships with your spouse and workplace. I'm Candace.
And I'm Daniel.
Night.
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 Bye.
Bye.